What is up, guys? I, Crab Spilt Milk here, and here I am at the North East Comic Con in Newcastle. I'm in the Utilita Arena. Craig Charles, Arthur Darvill, John Bateman, lots of Red Dwarf cast here, and lots of other people to see. So let's see how many people, how many autographs I can get today. Yes, guys, on the 13th of April 2024, I attended the North East Comic Con, organised by Monopoly Events at the Utilita Arena in Newcastle upon Tyne. Lots of representation from various universes such as Lost Boys, Red Dwarf, and of course the Doctor Who and Torchwood spin-off. As you can see, this Comic Con came with some real firepower. I was really tempted by that Sten Mark II or an MP40 replica, but as I came on the train, the question would be, how would I get this home without causing any alarm? I don't feel like spending the rest of my life in prison, thank you very much, as the UK frowns very muchly on firearms. So, shortly after getting through the Dalek security, why is it always Dalek security? I'll never know. It sucks. Basically, I sneak past it every time. We then looked for the special guest day. As usual, they're stuffed right at the back of the venue. So we've got to about 10 o'clock in the morning. Once by the time we got in, it was about half 10. We wanted to get a few graphs before the stars went for break from a previous experience. We we were full to go and have a look at all the merchandise first. By the time we were ready to look at the stars, they were gone for lunch. So this time we thought, right, let's get to the stars first before they go and do their photo shoots or panels and other commitments. So going into the event, I pre-ordered Craig Charles from Red Dwarf, Coronation Street and Robert Wars fame, among others. Arthur Darvill from Doctor Who, Broadchurch, and Legends of Tomorrow fame and CITV, and John Barrowman, mostly known for his theatre roles, but most known at the con for playing Captain Jack Harkness in the Doctor Who franchise. I then went to see Craig Charles first. He's the one I most wanted to see. As you can see, he's there saying, "Let the wars begin." When it was my turn, I boomed that catchphrase, "Let the wars begin." He loved it, and he signed my graph with the catchphrase. My friends who are hardcore Red Dwarf fans, I'll show you a picture of my friend's DVD case. It already has signatures on from Chris Barry and Hattie Hayridge, and now has signatures on from Craig Charles, as well as Danny. These are the other two are also in attendance. Danny John Jules, who was 19 minutes late, causing my friend to fret, and Robert Llewellyn. I do like the Red Dwarf franchise, but I'm not a massive fan compared to my fans. After I got Craig, who made my Friday nights with the BBC One lineup of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Simpsons, Robot Wars, and Top of the Pops. And then it was the back in those days, it was the 9 o'clock news. I then queued up for Arthur Darvill, who played Rory Williams in Doctor Who. As you can see, he was pleased to meet me. My friend remembered him from his CITV days. Basically, when I was a youngster growing up, I watched CBBC when I was a child, so it was a shame I didn't get to see Arthur Darvill, but I did see lots of other stars. Like I think there's this lady called Angelica, and that's all I can remember now, which is quite sad. But there you go. Again, we're all different. My friends are not so bothered about Doctor Who, but we all got what we set out to acquire from the event, so it's all good. After Arthur, I saw the queue for John Barrowman was quite long, and Freeman Aggieman's was quite short. So I then got to the front. So by the time it was my turn, and I got to the front, basically she had to go for a photo shoot. So I got Diamond Pass to push me to the front when she got back. Fair dues, I thought. I then saw no one waiting for WWE legend Ted DiBiase. So I went to see him. I see the price on the day is a little more expensive compared to booking in advance. So I would recommend booking as much as you can in advance. However, you may not see the person, as they may have long queues and lots of other commitments. So you might have wasted your money. It was my first time coming to this event, so I was playing it by ear and seeing how I get on this time, and I didn't know how busy it would be, which is why I only pre-ordered 3, so I could hedge my bets, and I'll be sure to get those free. But I now know that you get seen within 30 minutes, so I think I'll pre-order all the ones I want in future if I was coming to this event again. I know from my previous experience to London Comic Cons, you can be queuing for over an hour, so I wanted to gauge it just this time. You just want to know when you first go, you just want to know what it's going to be like. Um, so after Ted, I then queued for John Barrowman as his queue had gone down. John was a very charismatic fellow, and you can tell this when he was acting. I suppose you have to have that sort of X factor in the theatre business. John was quite a chatterbox and was standing. He was standing in front of his table, ready to take photos with you and see you. If you ordered selfies, he would pose with you and do various poses, like one happy, one ugly, one angry, and then various other poses that he just does on the fly. I'm sure that all the stars were pleased to see you, but I think out of all the ones at this event, John was the most pleased to see you. I picked a very interesting photo um, for my autograph from the Torchwood uh, program they're in. As you can see, it is Gareth. As you can see, it is Gareth David Lloyd, who I've seen before in Norwich, putting his putting his arms around John. I was going to pick one with just John posing as Captain Jack, but I appreciated the juxtaposition in this image, the dynamic of the intensity of the image. Now, I want to make it clear that I'm a heterosexual male, but I do appreciate the choreography and the artistry of the image of Gareth playing Yanto Jones, comforting John playing Jack. Um, Jack Harkness. Gareth at the time was sitting next to John, and John asked Gareth if there was another picture from the shoot. Gareth had the other image from the shoot. It was like a reverse sort of image. I'll put it on screen if I can find it. It was Gareth and John facing each other lovingly, and this time it was Gareth who was being shown as the more dominant one. Now, I didn't plan to get Gareth's autograph again, but I saw this image. It's a defining moment in the Torchwood story, and I couldn't pass up an opportunity to get a double autograph as I saw Gareth was free, so I could get him to sign too. By this time, I saw the queue for the headliner. Jennie Louise Coleman was free, so I made a beeline for her. Here she is piloting the TARDIS. She was wearing a face mask, and it did make me think: did we not learn anything from COVID, or maybe she might have had a cold or a sore throat or something, and didn't want to let her fans down, especially as she was headlining. Me and my friends then reconvened together. I think they went to see while I was trying to get all these autographs. I think they went to see a Red Dwarf panel, see the Red Dwarf cast talking about things. We then had a look at all the stalls at the event. As by this time, all the guests were off to lunch. After a good look around and after playing some retro video games, we then decided to think about going, as we all had what we wanted from the event. Obviously, my friend wanted Red Dwarf stuff. One of my friends wanted Red Dwarf and Arthur Darvill. Basically, got all that, so they were all done really. I decided to see if Freema Agyeman was back. For me, getting her was a bonus, but she wasn't around, unfortunately. But I got Warwick Davis, who had been in many things. He was £72 a graph. He said it's £60 plus VAT, and I'm like, oh yeah. So that's what's the most I paid for any single autograph ever. I think before it was £65 for Christopher Eccleston. I then said I liked him playing Grip Hook in Harry Potter the best. He played other things. I think he was in Doctor Who as he basically was a ruler of a planet, and he had the designated for the planet if it ever became overrun, which he had to fire off. I think he also played an Ewok in Star Wars Wicket. I think it was the Wicket, the Ewok. But I remember him playing Grip Hook in Harry Potter the best. He also played Flitwick, Professor Flitwick in that film. I think he was like the choir master or something. So as Grip Hook, he suggested, I promised to get you in, but I said nothing about getting you outline. He then moaned at me about after he suggested it because he had to write it out now. It's quite a long one, but if I'm paying £72 for the graph, I want to get my money's worth. After that, and still no sign of Freema, argument. Me and my mates decided to head home around 3 o'clock. As it was a 5-hour journey back to Suffolk, and that's where we all live. And we wanted to get some food before heading home with our spoils. Overall, I had a really great time. It was the sweet spot of not too busy, not too quiet, just right. Do you know what I mean? It's not too busy, not too quiet. It's not too quiet that you're done in a few hours, and it's like, oh, we've done it all now. We know what do we, basically we're doing it again if we stuck around. So we'll be prepared to come back next time as long as the guest list appealed to me. I'm very tempted to go and to other Comic Cons organised by Monopoly events, particularly in Wales and Scotland, as I think this was well organised and the formula worked well. I wish they would organise one for East Anglia, but not for London, as London cons are always very busy from previous experiences. I'm probably going to YarCon in Great Yarmouth beginning in July next, as Christine Monroe's been a star from the 70s and 80s has been confirmed, as well as Nick Moran, who, for me, the best part he played was he played a Snatcher in the Harry Potter films. I wouldn't mind seeing both of those, as well as teacher Tommy T, who's a TikToker. Too much alliteration there. In contrast, Great Yarmouth Con is a much smaller scale, with, shall we say, lesser caliber of guests compared to this one in Newcastle, but I prefer the smaller ones as it's less busy and you get more time with the guests, and some of the guests have some very interesting things to say. As I said, if you look at my one when I went to the YarCon last year and saw Mark Silk, you can see that video and you can see basically how good that was. I'm also looking forward to Norcon at the Norfolk Showground in Norwich. That's happening at the end of September. Already confirmed now, Chris Barry, who's like a permanent fixture there. I've already got his autograph, as you've probably seen in an earlier video. Joseph Marcel will also be there. He played the butler in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which I mentioned before was the component of the ultimate Friday night when I was a kid. So yeah, had a really good time, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.